Here's a world map, but the size is based on population. India has 17.5% of the world's people. And how powerful can the collective power of these many people get? Let me show you through some examples. Through Aadhaar, Indians have administered 2 billion doses of vaccines for the coronavirus. India has leaped in fintech. UPI transactions in the past 1 month is $126 billion, which is more than the GDP of 130 countries. And this number continues to grow sharply. Although the same population faces several civic problems like bad roads, lack of cleanliness, corruption, traffic, and many more. So, whose fault is it? Is it the government's fault? Yes, but only partly. The very same population is just as important a contributor to solving these issues as the government. Why? I'll give you some examples. The road is flooded and clogged on a rainy day. What's the problem? The government built a bad drainage system? Maybe. But if enough people threw garbage on the road, even a well-planned drainage system will fail. Because enough people thought that them littering the road would make no difference, an unclean road with a bad drainage was created. Example 2. Consider that there's a 2-lane flyover with a 3-lane road leading up to it. The most optimal method for traffic flow would be everyone getting on these 2 lanes beforehand. But no, people attempt to join in at the very mouth of the flyover just to save a few seconds for themselves, and just like that, they have created traffic. Example 3. If enough trucks or heavy vehicles drive on a road designed for cars, the road will be damaged. In an attempt to save a few minutes for themselves, they have damaged the road for thousands of others. Example 4. Traffic. I've explained this in detail in my video on Bengaluru's traffic. People who complain about the traffic are the traffic themselves, and the same people stuck in traffic are the only people who can get rid of it. There are hundreds of such examples I can give, but the underlying pattern in all of these is the same. It's like the prisoner's dilemma. 2 people are accused of a crime. If both of them accuse each other, they both serve 2 years in prison. And if both of them cooperate, they both serve 1 year in prison. And if you accuse the other person and the other person cooperates, then you get to go free and the other person gets 3 years in jail. Everyone are playing into the lose-lose scenario in an attempt to get into the lose-win scenario. So what reason do people have to change? It would be super convenient if 1.4 billion people cooperate. But you won't see the benefit of this unless enough people cooperate. Cooperating gives the best value for money on tax paid. The less the government spends on maintaining that infrastructure and the more you get out of your tax. Reason 3. Consequences which are not obvious at first. If one person litters on the road, hundreds of people passing by end up looking at it. Some people add to it because the same person has set a precedent, and this makes the situation worse and worse. Reason number 4. If nobody starts cooperating, everybody loses. Add more reasons in the comments if you can. Now, I'm not saying that the government is perfect. They have a lot to do. What I'm trying to say is, if people individually consider the impact of their civic activity and play into the win-win situation, 1.4 billion people would generally live better lives. Each individual has limited control on the government, but has total control over themselves. This very cooperation between government and people is what made Aadhaar, Covin, and UPI so successful. So that's it for this video. I hope to see you guys in my next video.